with everything I had against me, I'm still here. I'm still black, I'm still trans, I'm still powerful, I'm still strong, I'm still present.
So can you just start by talking about how you're feeling right now?
I'm feeling alive, excited. COVID-19, we're all excited to be alive.
Can you talk about what your style says about you?
My style says confident, mature, definitely leader. Someone that commands and demands a certain quality and respect in life. I understood from the time when I was on the street, when I was doing sex work, I wasn't drawn to being naked and walking around in a thong. Having the opportunity to be clothed in a way that made me comfortable and still be able to go out there and survive.
Are you gonna mind, because eventually we're gonna have to place things on the floor.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mind that. So let's get something to put on the floor.
Can you talk a little bit about the assumptions that people make about you based on how you look?
People just automatically assume that I'm unapproachable. People automatically assume that I am a bitch. And at times I can be. If you pluck me the wrong way, you're gonna get plucked back. One of the things people don't really know is that I love everybody. Even if I don't know you, I'm willing to hug you and actually hold you. Before COVID, now I'm a little scared. People assume that I had to have come from the bottom to exist. I was raised from a very regular middle-class family, went to Catholic school, went to the Boy Scouts, went to Bible camp, did all the normal stuff that all the normal kids did. Gender identity was just my difference.
Can you take off whatever's next that you want to take off?
You said that you love everybody, that you have such a big open heart. Where did that come from?
Having an open heart came from a childhood of wanting to be accepted and wanting to be a part and never being a part. And at the same time, always wanting to be seen or heard or felt in my femininity, and then somehow trying to hide something that was so obvious to everybody. If you just look back on my life, I didn't do any of the normal things. I didn't play in dirt. I didn't like sports. I didn't want to be outside with the kids. I lived in an imaginary world of curtains and dresses and my mother's heels. I always knew I wasn't gay. I was turned completely off by the word transvestite. And there was not yet a word transgender. What applied to me is young woman, young lady. That was it. I never felt comfortable. I never felt at home. I never felt like I belonged. I kept leaving. I kept missing curfew. And once I ran away, I kind of never went back. I slept on the A train for a while. Till I got punched in the face. That was a rude awakening. I went from the A train to Covenant House. Stayed in Port Authority for a while. And the bathhouses on 42nd Street. And gradually got sick and tired of all of it. And knew that there was something still missing. There was something I still didn't know, which was my gender identity. It wasn't until I met a lady named Dorade Princess that I knew. She asked me to come inside and give her a shot. I was like, a shot? I can't do this. And she did it to an orange, showed me how to do it, and then pulled her butt cheek out, and I gave her her hormone shot. And then she opened up her robe and said, this is what you're gonna be. As a young trans woman, some of those words of advice came at a really pivotal time in my life. I was a club kid, and having someone like grab me by the heels and say, you're worth so much more. Those are lessons that changed me, that made me whole. So with the tragedy of being homeless, I had so much.
Where did the sex work began during that time and ended during that time?
No, the sex work began when I had discovered the shelter system. I actually went to Fort Washington, where there was an abundance of trans women. And those trans women told me in order to stay in a shelter, I would have to work for my keep, and dressed me up and took me out. I don't know about anybody else's experience. I know mine was scary. Going out there, to being out there, to meeting someone, possibly having sex with someone, I don't know, all of it. Then the Board of Education sent me to the Gay and Lesbian Center. That did not work because I wasn't gay or lesbian. And as a transgender person, I was told to sit outside of the circle, and if I had any opinion, raise my hand. Well, at that moment, I discovered fuck you and walked out, realizing that whole train ride home that, once again, I did not fit in. It led to me discovering I liked myself a lot more than these people ever gave a damn about me, so why need them?
What led you to stop doing the sex work and like kind of the journey to what you're doing now?
The journey to stopping sex work. There was this horrible trans woman who I not only helped, I helped her get a job. I helped her get not one job, but 2 jobs. I helped her get an apartment. And this trans woman got arrested. And in lieu of her arrest, she said I was a madam. Someone that has a bunch of sex workers working for them, which I wasn't. They did a sting on my house and they sent it undercover in. At the time I had an ad, and my ad was for fetish work. In the state of New Jersey, fetish work is, as long as you don't accept money, legal. So when the young man came in my house, I guess they told him in his little earpiece to ask if I had drugs. And at the time I had marijuana, and it was hanging on these cute little magnets hanging on my refrigerator. Right after I told him where the marijuana was, there was a knock on my door. There were lots of police in the hallway. They kicked the door in, threw me down on the floor once, picked me up and threw me down on the floor again, and then decided to ransack my apartment. My arrest didn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be. I got arrested for a $10 bag of weed. And on top of doing all of that to me, I winded up serving 30 days in jail with no warning. My dog almost died. I was lied to by the DA, some horrible DA in New Jersey with a horrible toupee. In 30 days, I came out of jail with a purpose and a sense of revenge. When I was able to turn that arrest into a lifetime's work of advocacy, I took ownership and created my own agency where I can do just what I've been doing for a lifetime, taking care of my community. When I got arrested, I was a program coordinator, supervisor at Jersey City Connection in New Jersey. I had actually started the first transgender group, the first hormone therapy session in New Jersey. What was pretty clear was that Black trans people were not going to be paid appropriately, so I had to do sex work. My job gave me rent, and it's it. Sex work gave me the cars, it kept me off public transportation, and still helping the people I was helping. All of that work and all those positions and all that notoriety that came with it did not come with the money that needs to be attached. But it came with a supervisor that was making $80,000, $90,000 a year that didn't know dick about Black trans lives. So my supervisor, who was not equipped to do the job, actually made more money than I did. We're tokenized and used by most non-for-profits in New York City. We're not paid appropriately. We're not treated appropriately. We're not even treated with dignity or respect. By me owning my own agency, I am the dignity and respect I require and expect out of everyone in this world.
Can you describe what your agency is for people that don't know?
It's gays and lesbians living in a transgender society. Why? Because I said so. Because we have never been considered first. So I put us first. When you see the rich history of gay and lesbian life and the history of trans life is barely heard about. By my agency buying a building and creating a leadership academy, it's the first time in history a Black trans woman has, one, had equity for community, something only designed for us. In a city of privilege, we have never been given anything for ourselves. You got Bailey House for people that are dying. You got Marsha P. Johnson's house for some other shit. You don't have anything for leadership that says, I am creating, I'm giving an education, I'm helping you get an education, I'm helping you reach the next level in what tomorrow's sustainability looks like. That's what G.L.I.T.S is doing. That's what me and my team are doing. We're creating what utopia looks like for a community that's otherwise never had it. Oui.
When do you feel the most vulnerable?
When I'm home alone. Living alone, being black and trans, comes with an air of worry. A young man, my next door neighbor, had passed away, and his father told me to go upstairs and check on him, to see him. And I went upstairs and he was gone. I helped in every way possible, only to have his best friend say I was a drug dealer. Sweetie, I've never sold drugs in my whole life. I can't just be black, trans, and powerful. I've got to be a drug dealer. So I learned to put a mask up with people that are abusive, offensive, disgusting, and beneath me. Hurt people teach hurt people how to be hurt people. Broke people teach broke people how to be broke people. But damaged people teach decades of damage. To navigate the waters of oppression without letting it damage you, without getting the water stains of life on myself because you're damaged. That's a power to reflect the bad and turn it into good. That's a power.
When was the last time you cried?
I cry a lot, so I cry a lot. There's a lot of pressure on you when so many people need change and want change and want a little piece of you, and you're not able to turn it off. Those vulnerable times when I am alone, and like the holidays because of COVID, not being with my staff and my kids, not having them with me. I just love them all so much, and I'm so used to that love because that love inspires me to continue to do this work. I want them all to know that I adore each and every one of them. The ones I don't know, the ones that I'm gonna meet, the ones that message me and say, can you? And I say yes, to being someone they can look up to and be inspired by, but also someone that commissions them to do better in life. We need more of us in every room, so there's no room that will keep us out. That every door should be open and every ceiling should be broken. And it needs to reflect all of this transness, all of us.
I think the whole gender spectrum and nonconformity is all just like the biggest revolution.
Let me explain something. It took me 55 years to be trans. It took white people all of 10, 20 years to become them, they, us, our, you name it. And trans people still don't have their position in life. But now you have all these other pronouns, and trans people still don't have what they deserve. I do think everybody should be what they want to be, and that's okay. That's okay. But a black trans woman is still fighting to be a black trans woman when a world has accepted 15 other damn pronouns. I'm sorry. These terminologies mean dick to me when my very existence is still in question. Okay. I can't believe I'm doing this. Guys, don't you bring your asses over here.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
When we're all together, my staff, my kids, my family, my mom. It's rather unusual. We're all convening in ways that is unheard of because society thinks that we don't do these things. We are not the norm. We don't have holidays. We don't have lives. We don't have celebrations. We're just somehow the oddities that does all the freaky shit. but we don't do the normal things in life. We're loving, and that's the time when I feel the prettiest, and I feel wanted, and I feel held, and I feel like there is no light that's dim in the room.
Why? In your body, in your skin, in your journey? Why is it a good place to be?
To be born in 1964 and it now be 2020 and I'm still here. When the statistics say that we're not supposed to be here, I am here. I'm thriving. I'm loving. I'm now carved out in history. I want us to always see each and every year as the next step out of oppression, because we are the creation society has stopped us from being. We are the next step forward. We are forever and ever.
I am like quaking.
Now can I get dressed?
Hi, we're Elisa and Lily, the mother and daughter creators of StyleLikeU.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the What's Underneath project, brought to you by the Honey Pot and True & Co.
We are so deeply thankful to True & Co. and Honey Pot, whose support allows us to bring these radically honest stories to life.
Learn more about our sponsors and their stories in the description below.
We are also really excited to let you know that you can get the extended version of this interview in the What's Underneath podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you were inspired by Ceyenne's story, please take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel over here.
And don't forget to click the bell so each Thursday you're reminded of when we've dropped a new episode.
And thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all of our members who continually support our growth. You can join them by heading over to patreon.com/StyleLikeU.